Hi there guys, got a video here for you today on the Airmaks Krait, and in this one what we're going to be doing is fitting a Plenum plug to the rifle. So before we begin, I do just want to very briefly explain why we're doing the work that we're doing. So the Plenum is the store of regulated air that's available to the back of the valve. This is the air that we use when we take a shot, and the larger that this Plenum is, the more potential for power we have. It doesn't necessarily mean that the larger the Plenum, the more powerful the rifle, although the Plenum does control the power ceiling. That's why some of the other rifles, such as the FX Impact, make a big deal of having a 72cc Plenum. Although for sub 12, the larger Plenum isn't always beneficial. In our experience, if a Plenum is too large, you do get some negative drawbacks, such as a slow recovery time on the regulator. And in extreme cases, you can actually see the effect of a large Plenum in the shot string of the rifle itself. What generally happens is that you'll have one low shot and one high shot. So the shot string will be sort of high, low, high, low, high, low, all through the range, as the regulator isn't cycling between a single shot. You can observe that on very efficient rifles with a very large Plenum. We're not experiencing anything that extreme with the Krait, although I will say that the cycle time or the settle time of the regulator is a little slow. I have put my caliber gauge on the regulator gauge of the rifle, and we have timed the settle time of the reg, so we'll show you the before and the after at the end. So with that all said and done, we'll take a look at the Plenum plug. So this is the device here. It's made from aluminium, and if we look at the ends, we see that the ends are sealed off with O-rings, which seal inside this boss here and this boss here. So it's sealed at both ends with a 5mm hole around the middle. This internal section here is turned down just to save a little bit of weight. No other reason for that. We did test a number of Delrin prototypes with different sized holes in the end. Once we found the hole that we wanted, we made the final one out of aluminium. And with the plug fitted, the final Plenum size of the rifle is between 12 and 15 cc's. It's quite hard to work out the final Plenum volume, although 12 to 15 is roughly where I've calculated it to be. With that all said and done, I'll show you the fitting of the Plenum plug. First thing we're going to do is remove these two O-rings here, like we did with the Eurogan. One there, and then this one on this side. We'll remove these two O-rings as we're now relying on these two internal seals, and if we ever get a leak, we want this to leak to atmosphere rather than into a sealed container. And if those two O-rings were still installed, it may lead to a scenario where we have pressure built up around the Plenum plug that we are unable to bleed and are unaware of. But with those removed, we can stick the Plenum plug in one side, fit the Plenum over the end, then screw the other side on. So that's the device fitted. I'll get the rest of the gun built up off camera, then we'll give you the results. Right then, after a fair amount of testing, I'm glad to say that the Plenum plug was a success. We've managed to speed up the operation of the regulator. We've also managed to improve the shot-to-shot consistency of the rifle, and the actual shot cycle as you're shooting the rifle seems to be a little better. So the only other things you're probably interested in are the spread of the rifle. So we've got 4 here. 2 before and 2 after. Straight from the get-go you can see these two here are labelled, so this was the new valve, this was the standard valve. You can see the standard deviation on the standard valve, 2.77, 2.4, and then the new 2 up here are 1.9 and 1.98. If we click on that one, I will put a higher resolution photo of all these, but I just wanted to show you that they are actual results from the chronograph and not just random numbers that I've picked out of thin air. And here's a nice clean view of all the shot strings lined up. We see the old ones were done with slightly different pellets. We've done the old ones with JSB heavies and the new strings with JSB 844s, although I did go back and test heavies, and here are the results from the heavies, pretty much the same as the 844s. The last thing I'm going to show you in regards to the Plenum plug is the before and after regulator settle time. And you can see that playing in the background now. As you can see, after fitting the Plenum plug, the regulator settle time did speed up quite substantially, and overall the rifle does seem to be a bit more snappy in the operation. Right then, so that's pretty much going to do it on the Plenum plug itself. Seems to have worked quite well, and I'm happy with the results we're able to achieve. Right then guys, let's go about do it for this video. The last thing I will leave you with is just some footage I took at the British shooting show of Airmaks's new pistol. And here is the pistol. It's just a mock-up for now, although the proper one will be going into production pretty soon. It uses the well-tested and proven Krait body. The barrel is going to be roughly 250mm and the cylinder is roughly 100cc. It's going to be coming in 2.2 first, and then other calibers later on. It is a pistol, so it will be 6 foot-pound, although it will have a optional removable stock, which can be easily put on and taken off, as demonstrated by Constantine in the video. It looks like a real nice piece of kit, and I'm sure it will do very well. But that'll be coming sometime near in the future. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.